Today, guys, I'm going to help you the same way that someone helped me. Now, not long ago, I was homeless, living in a public restroom in a public park. I was door to door, sleeping in renovated apartments. I would turn the knob. If they happen to be open, then I would try to sleep there for the night. This went on for about 3 months. In the first month, I was able to sleep in my vehicle before I lost that. And then I ended up just sleeping anywhere I can. Now, even though I was broke, I was poor, I had no money, I ended up, like I said, homeless, and that wasn't the first time. So, imagine that times 3. The big reason is that I didn't know the purpose of money. If I wanted to be financially free, successful, wealthy, even rich one day, I didn't know or understand the purpose of money. And let me tell you what that means, because for a lot of you right here today, you're watching this video, you're watching this channel, you're subscribed. If you're not, what are you waiting for? You're hitting thumbs up. If you haven't, what are you waiting for? And you come here and you watch all of my videos, you get all this energy, you get all of this information that you do not learn in schools, by the way, and you don't apply it, you don't use it, you just kind of store it in your memory bank and leave it there. Well, it's no good without action. People always say that knowledge is power, and I always say that applied knowledge is power. Means, okay, you can have the knowledge, if you don't do anything with it, it's not going to do you any good. And so you're going to have to apply that knowledge so that you can do the things that you need to do, okay? And so let's get right into it. By the way, hit subscribe, hit thumbs up if you haven't already. If you want to get into the Middleman free live training, just click the link in the video description below, or put Middleman in the comments. It's that easy. Learn how to start a business from your phone. So someone helped me out. Again, I was always having financial problems, always having financial issues. And a friend of mine, he said, I think I figured out what your problem is when it comes to money. Because I said, yeah, I don't get enough money. And he was like, no, you get access to money. He was like, you make enough to pay your bills, you get access to money. He said, but the problem is you don't know what to do with the money when you get it. He said, the problem is not before the money gets to you, it's after the money gets to you. That's where the real issue starts. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm out here, I'm trying to pay bills. I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to do that just to, stay afloat. And he's like, Shon, you're never going to get there until you understand the purpose of money, the concept of money. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Because this is all new to me and I've never heard it before. What do you mean? Money is used to pay bills, to buy things. And if you're lucky and you got a little bit left over, take a darn vacation. And so he was like, well, let me share this with you. He was like, and I never forgot this, by the way, and I even teach this to you guys. He was like, money is a mindset. I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, money is what you think. I was like, so you're telling me money's not real? It's like, no, money is real, but money doesn't do anything unless you give it permission to do so. So I'm intrigued a little. I'm like, go on. And he's like, if you tell money what to do, it'll do it. However, if you do not give money anything to do, it'll do anything and everything. And so what he was talking about is, like, if I get a paycheck or my big paycheck every year, and if you're poor like I was, then you already know this is true, was the income tax return checks. That was my payday, my bonus for the year from the government for struggling through life. And so what happened is, I would get that check, $5,000 some years if I'm lucky. Then what would I do? I would take that check and buy things, buy television, buy, one year I bought a car, buy things for the house and stuff like that, and take a vacation or go do this, go experience that. And so every time I made the money was obligated to do something else. And I'd always give it an assignment where I couldn't get the value of the money back. And so you're probably out there, you're doing the same thing. And so hopefully this video helps you not to do that anymore. And so he said, listen, with a poor mindset, the money's always going to be used to buy things. And he said, but if you have a rich mindset, the money, you're always going to think about the money as in, how do I multiply this money? Not how do I subtract it? How do I multiply this money? So he said, what the mindset of the rich is, when they get money, when they get access to money, what they do is the first thing they think of is not what can I buy, but what can I try? What can I do with this money to help me to make more money? And he said, as long as they think that way, they're always looking for opportunities. Their minds are always open to what possibilities could be there. And he says you start seeing things differently, because now buying things don't really appease you, don't really satisfy you, because you want to live off of cash flow. And so now, in order to live off cash flow, you got to do what? Well, you got to acquire or create an asset. You have to have an asset. So if you have an asset simply means this thing, whatever it is, it makes money for you. That's all it is. That's why I always tell you guys, if you live in a house and you pay a mortgage to the bank or the lender for the house, number one, it ain't your house. Number two, you're not a homeowner, you're a loan owner, right? And number three, your house is not your biggest asset. It's actually your biggest liability. And because the opposite, the law of polarity, the opposite of money flowing in, asset, is money flowing out, liability. So if the thing you live in costs money and you have to pay it to someone else, it's a liability. You don't have to sell your house, just understand what it is. And so what you want to do is you want to create cash flow from something and use that cash flow to buy liabilities, because you're going to have some liabilities every once in a while. You're going to need a car, you're going to need a house, I get it. But if you're going to do it with a paycheck, it's going to be a bad idea. And so when I learned that lesson, that hey, start every time you get $1, turn 10 cents to $1, turn 10 to another, to 100, and on. Just multiply this thing as often as you can. Look for ways to multiply. And that's why I always tell you guys that parking money in a bank account is a terrible idea, just stacking money in a savings account. The reason being is because it costs you opportunity. Because you never think about using the money for anything. You only think about leaving the money there for safety. And then what does it do? It costs you opportunity. Well, how does it cost you opportunity? Because your mindset is on saving, not on investing, not on multiplying. It's on saving. To me, saving is worse than spending. At least if I spend the money and blow the money, I get an experience. If I save the money, the banks are the ones that's going to get the experience. They're going to use the money to make money. And I'm not going to use the money for anything. So imagine I went to work, worked my butt off, worked hard, got some overtime, and then what do I do with the money? I bury it. Then why are you working that hard if you don't need the money, right? If you're just going to stack the money in a bank, what are you doing? How about use the money to make more money? So the rule of the rich when it comes to money, when it comes to finance, if I could just give you one thing, it's learn to use money to make more money. Learn to use money to plant seed, right? Use money to make more money. When you get money, you don't want to ask, what can I buy? You want to ask, what can I try? Multiply, multiply, multiply. If you can learn to multiply your money starting in your mind, I promise you, it's going to change your life. Hit subscribe, hit thumbs up. Welcome to the channel. For everyone who wants to learn how to start a mobile business from your phone, you don't have to leave your house. I teach you how to make money by booking customers for other companies, taking a deposit. That's your money, about $150 on average, for a 5-10 minute phone call. That's easy. Or text or email. Sometimes the customers don't call you, they just text you or email you. But you can still get paid. I teach you how to do it. So you get to learn how to book customers, take deposits, dispatch the work. Book, deposit, dispatch. You dispatch the work to other ISPs or independent service professionals in the area, and they actually go out and do the work. So I own a moving service, but I don't do any moving. I simply find a customer, get paid, and send the work to moving companies who actually do the work for me, not me. And so whatever industry you choose, if you're like, hey, this sounds pretty cool, what industries are there? Then go to middlemanceo.com, and at the top, you can click the list for the top 25 middleman industries, and you'll see the industries laid out, and you will also see What's the average deposit amount for each industry? Because that's your commission, the deposit. So if the deposit is $150, that's typically what you take from a customer. Not bad for a 5-minute phone call. If you want to do that, get into the training. Put the word middleman in the comments below, or just go ahead and click the link in the video description. See you guys on the next video. Peace.